Hello, my beautiful friends. So I had a request to do another journal meditation to show you how to do it in case you want to do this in your own practice. Somebody else asked me why I'm not up in my office because there's no air conditioner up there and it's really hot. But I hope to get back up there soon because as much as I love being in my kitchen where I can be surrounded by tea in all kinds of forms, cold and hot, it is quieter and a little bit more private up there. But I've told everybody to stay out of the kitchen while I do this. Normally I would do this in my office or in a place where there aren't people. So, very first thing, there is no right or wrong, I can't even speak. There is no right or wrong way to do any of this. It really is what works for you. So, I will show you what it is that I do, but modify it, change it, make it yours. This, when I first started out, I watched other people, saw what they did, saw what resonated with me. Same with card reading, same with Rune Stone reading. I do a different Celtic cross than other people do. There isn't a right or wrong way. It's your relationship with spirit. I've been working on science, as you know, if you watch the channel, and tonight I was like, I need to have my phone with me because they're going to call me to pick up my son early. And my husband was like, they're not going to call. Like, I'm telling you, they're going to call. And they called. So I was so thankful to spirit because I'm like, a good thing. Like, I knew, not that it's a good thing to pick them up early, but they were slow because there's a carnival here and then there's a big music festival down in my hometown. So there's a lot going on. So they weren't busy. But I was just like so excited that I was like, I knew that ahead of time. And it wasn't usually what I know when I know things is births and deaths. I feel like I'm really, a person who my energy is surrounded in the crossing over from life into life and out of life. So it was great to have something that was not related to that to show up. And I knew they were going to call. And then I wasn't surprised when I looked down at my phone and the chef was like, can you come get your kid? So anyway, so how often do I do journal meditation? As often as I can, which isn't as often as I'd like. I would love to have a daily practice of doing it. I've been doing it every day, doing work, shadow work, and doing different things, and I have different journals for everything. And if you followed the channel a long time, you know that my primary journal is this one. And I write everything in it. And I just got this on eBay. Not eBay. Amazon. I got this on Amazon, and it's just a blank notebook with a bazillion pages in it, and it has postcards in it, and all different things. And it's different from my my Book of Life, because Book of Life is just it's my rune stones, it's recipes for the healing medicines that I make, and things like that. There's nothing in here secret, right? This can get passed to my nieces, one day. There's nothing in here secret, where my journal is more my thoughts and things like that. So I definitely have different journals for different things. Right now my workbook, because I'm taking the Magic Sisters course on mediumship, like that goes in this notebook. Now remember that I'm an English professor and that I like to write and I like to read, so I also like journals a whole lot, and this is a good time of year to go buy them because the back to school stuff is for sale. In the South, they've already gone back to school, and up north, they'll be going back within the next few weeks. So you can get some pretty good deals at Staples, Walmart, and Amazon, and Temu. So find something that you want to write with, and then surround yourself with the things that bring meaning to you. And when I go to write, I'm not going to make you watch me write, but I'll give a prompt from how I get my prompts, and if you want to follow along, please do. So the things that I always like to have with me, I have a green man. I think this was created as a magic wand, but as you know, if you watch the channel, I don't do magic. It's not used as a magic wand, but it's definitely, I'm very, very connected to green man energy, which is why I have the green man with my stones. And that's a very Celtic symbol of nature, a combination of nature and humanity, right? So I like the green man. And I also like to have music, so there's music playing in the background. I'm trying to play with making sure it's not too loud, but I pick all kinds of different things. Tim Janis is a go-to. This one is called Dark Academia Playlist. I just like, I don't like things with words when I'm doing this kind of work, because then I'll start singing along and then my focus is not on my writing. So whatever resonates with you though, right? I do like to either have a candle lit or I like to burn incense. I'm going to be burning incense today because we have this new incense thing. This little plate, I don't know, Hestia, I'm thinking I don't really like this thing because it's hard to use. And it's messed up her face, and I don't like that. I am going to, this is the incense, the dragon's blood that smells like Anglican Church that I love, that came with my Goddess Provisions box, but I'm actually not going to use that. I'm going to use incense that I got from the box that I bought at Aroma Realms, which is in my hometown of Bethlehem. It was called Hocus Pocus, and it's 2 different flavors. I burned the purple, so this time I'm going to burn the green one. I don't know. It smells good. So I'm going to burn that. So I like to just fill my space with, things that sound good, things that smell good. And it just reminds me that I'm in my space, right? That I'm creating a space. I believe in other traditions like witchcraft and things. You might maybe cast a circle, or I have really no idea because I'm not a witch. But however you do it, again, no right or wrong way. You just do what works for you. So the music helps me to focus. The scent from the, and I'll link Roman Realms down here so that you can get some of these. Roman Realms is the one that makes the incense. It's somebody else, but they make these amazing candles, which I've already burned my candle, so I'm gonna have to go and buy a new candle. I highly recommend these candles. I make my own candles, and I'm still gonna buy some of her candles because I like them, because they last and they smell the whole way through, which is always tricky when you buy other people's candles. Mine smell all the way through because I layer it that way. But anywho, so now you have your scent, you have whatever you want to listen to, and you have your space. And normally in my office, the lighting isn't so harsh, but that's what I have here in the kitchen. I have really poor eyesight, so I do kind of need light. I always have a beverage with me because I'm always forever drinking tea. And all right. So now I make sure that I have all the tools with me that I'm going to use. And typically I use the tools that you've always seen me use. So I have my Rune Stones. I did smoke them today. I have my cards that I like, which are these 2 decks. And sometimes I feel called to call another deck. I don't feel called to pull another deck. I have many decks, but this is sort of my kit. These 3 things are the things that I use all of the time. Today I have a little turtle that I got to remember my turtle that passed away last week, and I ordered it the day she passed because this little face looked like her, and so I have that sitting with me, and I have some other stones that I just got from Goddess Provisions that are here, and I just try to surround my space and just create an environment that I can now study and think about. So and I believe this is true in other traditions like Wicca and witchcraft, and in the pagan tradition, and in Christianity, right? And in the 5 major religions. When you sit down to pray or you sit down to meditate, I always look at prayer as asking Spirit for things, and then meditation is listening, right? And different traditions do different things. But the number one thing that all of them, the 5 major religions and all the outer faiths have, is that you want to have an intention, right? So if you're praying for the health of people, like I'm praying for my friend Jim, I'm praying for James, who is a father of a friend of mine. I'm praying for Donnie, who is the father of a friend of mine. Like, I'm setting an intention to pray for their health, or safe passage to the other world in some cases. Or whatever, you're setting an intention. So it's prayer and meditation are very, very similar in that regard, that you want to set your intention. So once you've set your intention, you're ready to go. So my intention right now is for Spirit to guide me in thinking about something for my highest good. What lesson does Spirit want me to learn tonight and to reflect on in my journal writing? So I try to go in with an open mind, with just the intention of Spirit lead me. And I always like that song, Spirit Lead Me, Ocean. I can't remember who sings it, but it's a Christian song. But Spirit Lead Me, I'm being so specific. I will try to link it below. So I get out my stones, and I have this other green man that I just got for Lunasa. And so I just, ask my guides. My spirit guides are named Adam and Seth. I ask them to come in. I ask the angels to come in. Any other spirit guides that want to come in. Anybody who wants to give me messages for my highest good. This reading is very much about me. And so I'm asking spirit for specific messages for me. Whereas when I read for you, in a regular reading, I'm asking for whatever message needs to come out for anybody to hear. So that doesn't mean that the message now won't resonate with you, but I'm asking specifically for me. When I do this kind of work, I'm always doing a Celtic cross. 3 Norns is a lot of fun. 1 pools are a lot of fun, but the Celtic cross really does give me a lot of meaning. So I am asking spirit for whatever I should be thinking about for my highest good. And these are clean stones. Okay, present energy is Jira, which means year or cycle. What led up to this? Algis, the outstretched arms of love. How I always think of it. What are the forces I cannot control? Isa. What are the forces I can control? Malthus. And what's the potential outcome? Dagus, which is dawn. So what I will do now is I will use my book, and my book is a culmination of just research that I've done on each of the stones, and my own notes about them. So I will go through and I will review, and even though I know what all of these stones mean, because I've been doing this a while, I still look at the book, because something might pop out at me that spirit really highlights. And you can pick the Notha stone 10 times, and it can mean 10 different things, just depending on where it sits in a reading and where it sits in your thought. So I'm going to go and read the book, and then I'm going to take some notes in my notebook, and then I'm not going to start free writing yet because I want to pull cards to go with it, but I take some notes in my book, in my notebook, so that when I do write, I have those notes ready and handy. So I'm going to go do that, and then I will be right back. So I looked up each stone, and I wrote everything down that kind of popped out at me. Then I take a minute and I just reflect on all the stones, and I write that down. And the message really is that, spirit wants me to keep working on my path, right? It's a cycle. It's, I'm going through. Let me get the words exactly that spoke to me. Hold on one second. Sorry, I closed my book before I should have. So what I wrote down for my present energy, which is Jira, is reap what you sow, coming into something better, fertile season, act with wisdom, don't expect fast results, you can't make a river run faster. And really the sense that I get from that is that, I've finally, after 50 years, accepted that I have gifts, and now I'm learning how to use them, and I'm an academic, I'm very smart, and I don't mean that in any arrogant way. I've always been very smart, and I want to learn things quickly, and I don't necessarily like to take time. I want to know things, I want to know the answer, and that isn't how spiritual things go. You have to take the time. You cannot make a river run faster. So spending time, like Spirit's happy with me, spending time working with my gifts, learning about them, learning how to use them wisely. And Algis, which is elk, higher self-connection with God, perceptions beyond the physical world, listen instead of hearing, closer to the divine, ancestral memory, connection between divine and human. Like, that's what brings me into this space, is this very focused work that I've been doing, and I should continue to do it. What I can't control is ice from other people. I can't, you know, people think I'm kooky. They're going to think that there's nothing I could do about that. What I can control, though, or what I really should watch out for, I mean, is that you know, we all have a tendency to fall asleep and get frustrated. Like, that's a natural human thing, and it's very natural for humans to feel that way. So, you know, it's very natural for laziness to set in, because that's a human condition. It's very natural for people to doubt you. It's very natural for people to criticize you. Even people who are into the things that you're into can be critical and have microaggressions, and you can't help what they say. Like, I have a friend who's like always, you know, who's into this kind of thing, and it's like, oh, well, you know, you always think everything is a sign. I do. I'm sorry that you don't. That's your path. You know, but the offhand comments, the critical offhand comments, not necessary from you, but I just have to ignore it, because I can't control what they do. What I can control is how I respond, and not this means need. And it's interesting when I was looking at that stone, because, you know, you get that stone and you always think it means need and necessity. But what it spoke to me in this particular reading is, you know, just remember, have a realistic worldview. Not everybody sees the world the way that you see it when you're working with spirit. If you're in a Christian tradition, a Roman Catholic tradition, or a Lutheran tradition, and you're very religious, Baptist, you know, non-denominational, whatever, you have a very specific worldview. And people in the outer faith, same thing, have a very specific worldview. You know, be respectful of other people's worldviews, and just understand that they're not going to understand your path because they're not on it. So as Druids, we believe in, you know, honoring our own paths, but then, you know, making sure that the paths are safe for other people to explore their paths, you know, as long as their path isn't hurting anybody, or, you know, physically, mentally, right? As long as their paths aren't hurting people, like, you know, we should honor their path and help support them when we can. And then Nothus is also a reminder to look out for obstacles that are created by you and created by others, or if other people are laying down ice, be aware who those people are and where they're putting the ice, right? And just expect that there might be conflict, and you control the conflict, because you can walk away. You have the power to just say, you know, I appreciate your view, but I don't agree with you. Or you can say nothing and just walk away. You can remove those negative people from your life, right? If it's that bad. And really what results is the dawn. You know, it's like the new day, awakening, old world to new world, beyond cultural construction, an awakening, an old self to new self. Hope is your best weapon, enthusiasm. And literally today, something happened earlier in the day that I don't really want to talk about because it's personal, but it was totally a thing that I've done a million times, and I did it, and I was like driving in the car, I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. It wasn't anything illegal or bad or anything like that, but I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I shouldn't have gone about that way. That's the way I've always done it, even as a kid. I shouldn't have done that. And so I need to make that right. And then I did later make it right. And I was like, as I was making it right, I'm like, see, Spirit, I can tell that I'm growing. That my old self to my new self needs to be responsible for the things that I do, the things that I say. And it wasn't a grave thing. It wasn't a horrible thing, but it was just something that I know that I need to grow, you know, and something that in my old self I would have never batted an eye at, but now, you know, I'm a little bit more conscious of, right? And so that means that shadow work is working. It means that all these things are working. And then the whole thing with Julian and picking him up and knowing they were going to call. So that I do automatic writing just briefly on the stones, and you know, and I write down what I hear from Spirit, anything else, and basically it's that same message of, you know, you're on a path, and not everybody is going to love your path. And as you get stronger in your path, like as you talk about it more freely, because remember, I didn't talk about my gifts ever. The YouTube channel is a way to help with that. To talk about the gifts that I have and the gifts that everybody has. Like, I'm not special. We all have these gifts, but we have to work on them. Like, it's like anything else. You know, I learned to analyze literature because I had to read a lot of books to do it. And then to teach literature, I had to learn how to be able to communicate, Dante's Inferno, to students who know nothing about Italy, and don't know anything about Dante Alighieri, right? Like, it's no different than if you're a chef or if you are a basket weaver. You have to learn, you have to take the time, and it's not a quick process. And as quick as we'd want to make a river run faster, we can't. So, just encouragement from Spirit that I'm on the right path. I'm learning the things that Spirit's asking me to focus on, but I need to take my time, and this meditation time is where I do that work. So now I pull cards to go with it, and then after this I take a much longer amount. So this probably took me half hour, is about the amount of time it took me to go through the stones. And now I'll pull cards to go with it, just to see if Spirit has anything else that it wants to say to go along with this. Any additional reminders, anything else for my highest good. So pretty clear reading, but you never know. Spirit might have something to say. Okay, 3 passes. Pass what? Pass 2. And pass 3. We have the crone, fairy godmother, wisdom, future, and truth. And fawn, beginnings, willingness, and opportunities. And it's interesting because a fawn is innocent and the crone is the experienced one. It's amazing that they came out together, because I've hit middle age and I'm now in my crone years, right? But I'm still very innocent in the knowledge of my gifts and learning to really connect with Spirit. And it's just a reminder that, I have, this is a new beginning for me. I'm willing. There are going to be many opportunities as a result, but to always work within wisdom and truth, right? These are very strong women, but they're both rooted in truth and willingness to be led by Spirit and not led by our own ego. It's very easy, I think, in practices like this to rely on our own ego and say, well, this is what I think is best for you. It's a whole other thing to say, get my human meat suit out of the way, Spirit channel through, this is what Spirit thinks is the best path. The other thing that came out is Sarowyn with transformation, knowledge, and magic. It's funny, the magic card comes out, and as you know, I don't do magic, but everybody thinks I do and thinks I can. But what is magic really? Right? Magic is manipulating the physical world for some end, right? Good or bad. There's happy good witches and naughty bad witches, I guess, or magicians. And I feel like churches do rituals, synagogues do rituals, right? Humans do rituals. That's what we do. They aren't inherently good or bad or anything, right? They bring meaning to us in our worship. So I don't see that as magic. I don't, the healing that I do, I think, not that I do, the healing that I deliver through Spirit, that healing is no different than a doctor. I mean, people, medicine is medicine and it's tested in all those scientific things, which is in a way different than me giving you salve for, a cut. But that's not necessarily witchcraft either, right? That's just natural healing from the old ways. And so, we can call it magic, or we can just call it Spirit-led development, right? So that's interesting. It's I think I do get reminders every once in a while that Spirit gets a little irritated when I say that I don't do magic, but I think we just use different words for the same thing. I don't manipulate energy in the physical world. because I think that alters free will. For example, could I put together a love potion and cast a circle and make somebody love me? I don't know. I don't know if I could do that, but let's say I could do that, then that person isn't coming to me on their own with love. And that's manipulating energy in a way that shouldn't be manipulated. So even if I could do magic, I probably wouldn't. And maybe I can do magic and I don't. And the things that I think are healing things, some people call magic too, which is why a lot of people think I'm a witch. I don't care what they think I am. In 1692, we'd all been burned at the stake. Doesn't matter what you call me. People get very upset about things they don't know about. Let's see what Earth Wisdom has to say. Anything for our highest good. Anything for our highest good. My highest good. One. Two. Three. It's on the bottom. Oh, Healing Grief came out again, which I had earlier today. Love this card. Look at the card, and she's standing. She's got wisdom with her, with the owl. She's got the firm foundation of her staff, and it's snowing around her, but she's determined to heal herself. She's not a victim. She's a healer. Now, I forgot to keep my cards out, so I have to go find them again. Hopefully they're on top. Yep. So when I do a reading during the day, I just put the cards away. But when I'm journaling, I keep them out so that they're with me, so that I can really look at the pictures, and really let Spirit talk to me through the cards. So I am going to go do that, and then I will be back. All right, so I have finished writing, and I had a really good experience with Spirit. I end with a little prayer, thanking Spirit for the time that we worked together, and I feel like it strengthens my path because I have things to think about more, and I have more work to do, and it tells me what else I need to learn about, and it's really to live a true path, not to be worried about labels, but also not to be worried about labels, right? So because I'm Christian, I kind of shy away from when people call me a witch or whatever. I get upset about that because I'm a Christian, and I want to be seen as a Christian, but Christians don't see me as a Christian, and pagans and other traditions, druids, of which I am, don't see me as a druid. So it's nonstop nonsense. I tell them not to come in the kitchen. What do? Come in the kitchen. So really just this idea that I need not to worry about the labels, but I also need not to worry about the labels. And getting caught up in that conversation removes me from being able to work really clearly with Spirit, because I'm more worried about what people think I am. So I'm not going to worry about it. Think what you want about my path. And that's what that is. I have to worry about, working on my healing gifts and working on my communication gifts, and that's where my focus should be. So I am wishing you all the best in light and love. I hope some of these tips were helpful for you. I would love to hear how you do things, or if you do a video about it, I would love to see it. How you do things and how you switch things up. My incense is burned out. I will turn off the music. I will let everybody back in the kitchen. And I am wishing you all the best in light and love. Have a great night. Bye-bye.